Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Easy English podcast. We are so happy you are here with us today. Today, we have a really fun, slow-paced listening story for you. It is about a stressful but very common situation. Have you ever been in a rush for something really important, and then a small machine completely ruins your plan? Well, that is exactly what happens in our story today.
Oh, absolutely, Hannah. I think we have all been there. Machines are great when they work, but when they do not, it is a total nightmare. Today, we're going to look at some great practical English vocabulary while we tell the story. It is all about staying calm and explaining a problem clearly.
Exactly. Let's set the scene first. Our main character today is named Leo. Today is a massive day for Leo. In exactly 45 minutes, he has a big job interview. He has been preparing for this interview for 3 whole weeks. He really wants this job.
Wow, 3 weeks of preparation? He has studied the company, he has practiced his answers, and he has even bought a brand new suit. He is going to do great. But first, he has to get there. The interview is in the city center, which is always incredibly busy.
Yes, city driving is the worst, especially when you are looking for parking. Leo drove into the city, and he was lucky. He found a massive, modern, automated parking garage right next to the office building. He parked his car on level 4, took a deep breath, and walked toward the payment machine.
Wait, did he park his car and then go straight to the machine, or did he do something else first? Usually in these automated garages, you pay right before you leave, right?
Good catch. Yes, in this specific garage, you have to pay at the machine first, and then the machine gives you a validated ticket to exit. Leo wanted to pay early so he would not have to worry about it after the interview. He thought, I will pay now, and then I am going to walk into that building with a completely clear mind.
That sounds like a very good plan. He was trying to be organized. He went to the automated payment machine. These machines can be quite confusing sometimes. They have so many slots, screens, and flashing lights.
They really do. This machine had a big green screen that said, "Please insert your parking card." Leo put his plastic parking card into the slot. The machine made a loud bzzz sound, and the screen changed. It showed the price, $10.
$10? Parking in the city has become so expensive lately. Anyway, what did he do next? Did he pay with cash or a credit card?
He decided to pay with his bank card. He took out his debit card, slipped it into the card reader, and entered his PIN. He has done this 1,000 times before. He stood there, waiting for the receipt to print.
And did it work?
Well, the machine made a strange, grinding noise, like clunk, clunk, whir. Then the screen suddenly went completely black. Nothing happened. No receipt, no sound, and most importantly, his bank card did not come out.
Oh no, the machine has swallowed his card. That is a literal nightmare, especially when you have an interview in less than 40 minutes now. Did he try to press the cancel button?
He did. He pressed the red cancel button. He pressed it once, then he pressed it 5 times, and then he started tapping the screen. He even tapped the side of the machine, but it was completely dead. The card was gone, trapped inside the machine.
I can feel his panic. If I were Leo, my heart would be beating so fast. He has worked so hard for this interview, and now he is stuck in a dark parking garage with no money, no bank card, and no way to get his car out later.
Exactly. He stood there for a moment, just staring at the black screen. He thought about his options. He said to himself, I am not going to miss this interview. I will figure this out, but I need help right now.
That is the spirit. You have to stay positive. He looked around the garage. Was there a parking attendant nearby? A real person working in a booth?
No, this garage is completely automated. There were no people around at all. It was just rows of cars and concrete walls. But then he spotted a tiny yellow button next to the screen. Above the button, it said, "Help Intercom."
Ah, the intercom. That is his only hope. But speaking on an intercom can be difficult, especially when you're nervous. You have to speak clearly, and sometimes the connection is very bad.
By the way, if you are enjoying this story, taking a second to subscribe or like this episode genuinely helps our show reach more learners around the world.
It really does. And please leave any of your questions in the comments. We read and answer them all. Anyway, back to our parking story.
Yes, and Leo knew he had to be very precise. He could not waste time. He took a deep breath, reached out his hand, and pressed the yellow button. He heard a ringing sound. Ring, ring, ring. He waited, praying that someone would answer.
I am holding my breath just thinking about it. Imagine if the call just drops or if nobody is monitoring the helpline. That would be terrible.
Thankfully, the call did not drop. After a few long seconds, a loud beep came from the little speaker, and a voice said, "Parking assistance, how can I help you?" The voice sounded a bit robotic and far away, but to Leo, it was the most beautiful sound in the world.
Oh, I bet. I would feel so relieved. But now comes the hard part. He has to explain a stressful situation quickly and clearly over a scratchy intercom. What did he say first?
Well, Leo remembered that when you are in a rush, it is best to state the main problem immediately. He did not say, "Hello, my name is Leo, and I have an interview." Instead, he said, "Hello, the automated machine has just swallowed my debit card and I cannot pay for my ticket."
That is perfect. It is short, direct, and very clear. He used the present perfect tense there too. The machine has swallowed my card. It describes a past action that has a very important result right now. He cannot leave because of it.
Exactly. And the person on the other end, a woman named Sarah, understood him perfectly. She said, "Okay, sir, please stay calm. Which machine are you using? There are 3 payment stations in that garage." Leo looked up at the top of the machine and saw a big number 1. He told her, "I am standing at station number 1 on level P2.
Ah, level P2. Usually P stands for parking. So P2 means parking level 2, which is often underground. That is a very useful detail to give. Did Sarah know what to do right away?
She did. She told him that she has worked at this garage for 5 years, and this card-swallowing problem has happened a few times before. But then she said something that made Leo's heart sink. She said, "I'm going to send a technician to assist you, but he is currently working on another floor. He will be there in about 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Oh no! Leo's job interview is in 15 minutes. He is definitely going to be late if he waits 20 minutes for a technician. What did he do?
He had to make a quick decision. He told Sarah, "I have been preparing for a job interview for weeks, and it starts in 15 minutes. I cannot wait 20 minutes here. If I leave my car here and walk to the office, will my card be safe inside the machine?"
That is a very good question. If he just walks away, can someone else come to the machine and take his card when it finally pops out?
That was exactly his fear. He was thinking, if I leave, someone will steal my card. But Sarah reassured him. She explained that the machine has a special security feature. Once the machine swallows a card, it locks the card in a secure box inside. Nobody can get it without a key. She said, "Your card is completely safe. We will hold it for you at the main office."
Wow, that is a huge relief. So his card is safe, but he still has another problem. How is he going to get out of the garage later if he cannot pay for his ticket right now?
Yes, he asked her about that too. He said, "I have already validated my ticket, but I cannot pay without my card. How will I exit the garage when I return?" Sarah was very helpful. She said, "I am going to write down your license plate number right now. When you return, just press the Help button at the exit gate, and I will open the gate for you remotely."
That is amazing service. Sarah really saved the day. So Leo gave her his license plate number, right?
He did. He read it out very slowly. He said, "My license plate is 3 B as in boy, 7, R as in red, 9, 2. Spelling out letters using simple words like B for boy or R for red is a great trick when you are speaking over a bad intercom connection.
It really is. It prevents any spelling mistakes, which is super important for license plates or names. So once Sarah wrote down the details, Leo was free to go. Did he run to his interview?
He ran like the wind. He grabbed his folder with his resume, blocked his car, and ran toward the pedestrian exit of the garage. He had about 10 minutes left, and the office building was just 2 blocks away. He was running, but he was also trying not to sweat too much because he wanted to look professional.
Oh, the classic struggle, running for your life, but trying to look calm and collected at the same time. I have done that before. You arrive at the door, you take a deep breath, you smooth down your jacket, and you pretend you just had a lovely, relaxing walk.
Exactly. That is exactly what Leo did. He arrived at the office building with 5 minutes to spare. He walked into the lobby, went up to the reception desk, and smiled. He told the receptionist, "Hello, I am Leo Vance. I have an interview with Mr. Green at 10 o'clock."
And did he get to meet Mr. Green right away, or did he have to wait?
Well, the receptionist smiled and told him to have a seat. Leo sat on a comfortable sofa in the reception area. His heart was still beating very fast from all the running and the stress at the parking machine, but he tried to focus on his interview questions. He kept telling himself, "I am going to do great. I have prepared for this."
That positive self-talk is so important. He had already survived the parking garage disaster, so a job interview should feel easy after that. How long did he wait?
He waited for about 5 minutes. Then, a tall man in a dark suit walked into the reception area. It was Mr. Green. He shook Leo's hand and said, "Hello, Leo. Thank you for coming. Please, follow me to my office." Leo stood up, took a deep breath, and walked in.
This is it, the big moment. I am so curious to know how the interview went, especially after such a chaotic morning. Did he manage to forget about his lost debit card and focus on the questions?
He actually did. Once he sat down in that quiet office, he realized he had already survived the worst part of his day. He decided to just be completely honest. Before Mr. Green started the formal questions, Leo said, "I have to apologize if I look a bit out of breath. I have been dealing with a wild situation in the parking garage downstairs." Mr. Green looked surprised and asked, "Oh, what happened?"
Wow, that was a bold move. Sometimes being honest is the best way to connect with someone. How did Mr. Green react when Leo explained the whole story about the card eating machine?
Mr. Green actually laughed. He told Leo, "Don't worry at all. That machine has been causing trouble for weeks. Last Tuesday, I went down there to pay, and it did the exact same thing to me. I spent 20 minutes arguing with the intercom." So they immediately had something to laugh about. It broke the ice completely.
That is amazing. It just shows that we are all human and bad luck happens to everyone. So, did they start the actual interview after that?
Yes, they did. Mr. Green started by asking Leo about his background. He asked, "Why do you want to work for our company?" Leo had a great answer ready. He explained that he has wanted to work in this industry for years, and he has followed their projects closely. He said, "I am going to bring a lot of energy to this team, and I am ready to start immediately."
That is a very strong answer. He did not just say he wanted a job, he showed that he had a plan. He used going to for his future contribution. I love that. What else did they talk about?
Well, Mr. Green wanted to know about Leo's past experience. He asked, "Have you ever managed a difficult project by yourself?" Leo smiled because he had a perfect example. He told Mr. Green, "Yes, in my last job, I managed our entire website transition. I worked on that project for 6 months. We encountered many unexpected problems, but we solved them all."
That is a classic interview question. It is all about showing how you handle pressure. And honestly, after seeing how Leo handled the parking machine crisis, we know he is excellent under pressure. He did not panic. He just pressed the intercom and spoke clearly.
Exactly. He showed problem-solving skills in real life and in his past work.
Mr. Green was very impressed. He kept nodding his head and writing down notes. At one point, Mr. Green asked, "What are you going to do if a client is angry about a delay?" And Leo said, "I will listen to them first, understand their problem, and then I will offer a clear solution."
I noticed he used will there for spontaneous decisions and promises. I will listen. I will offer a solution. That sounds very professional and confident. It sounds like the interview went incredibly well.
It went beautifully. They talked for about 45 minutes. By the end of the conversation, they were both smiling. Mr. Green stood up, shook Leo's hand again, and said, "Thank you, Leo. I have interviewed 5 people this week, but your positive attitude and your clear communication really stand out. I am going to make my final decision by tomorrow afternoon. I will call you."
That is so exciting. I am going to make my decision, that is a plan, and I will call you is a promise. It sounds like Leo made a fantastic impression. But wait, what about his debit card? He still had to get his card back from that terrible machine downstairs.
Oh, right! I almost forgot about the card. As Leo was walking out of the office, Mr. Green said, "Oh, by the way, let me walk down to the garage with you. I know the building manager. We can get your card back together."
No way! That is incredible service from a future boss. Mr. Green is such a nice guy.
He really is. So they went down the elevator together. When they reached the automated parking machine, the technician was already there. Remember, Leo had called the help desk earlier. The technician was holding a little plastic box with 3 different cards inside. He looked up and asked, "Are you Leo Vance?"
Ah, the technician actually came. That intercom system really works. What did Leo say?
Leo said, "Yes, I am. I called about 20 minutes ago. My blue debit card went into the slot and did not come out." The technician smiled, looked through his little box, and pulled out Leo's card. He said, "Here you go. The machine has been overheating all morning, so it kept holding on to cards instead of reading them. I have just fixed the software, so it is working normally now."
What a relief. He got his card back, he did not have to pay a fine, and he had the company director standing right next to him. That is what I call a perfect ending to a very stressful morning.
It really was. Mr. Green even used his own parking pass to let Leo out of the garage for free. He told Leo, "Consider it a small apology from the building management." Leo thanked him, got into his car, and drove home with a massive smile on his face. He went from being completely stressed to feeling like a champion in less than 2 hours.
That is such a great story, Hannah. It really shows how a bad situation can turn into something positive if you stay calm, explain your problem clearly, and keep a good attitude. I think Leo learned a lot of lessons that day.
He definitely did. He learned that being polite can completely change the outcome of a bad day. If he had started shouting at the intercom, I do not think Mr. Green would have helped him so kindly. It is all about the language you choose when things go wrong. And that brings us to what we want to share with our listeners today. We have prepared some really useful phrases and templates you can use whenever technology fails you. We have all been there. You are at an airport, a train station, or a supermarket, and a machine just stops working.
Oh, absolutely. I have lost my card in a machine before, and I have also had ticket machines freeze right when my train was arriving. In those moments, your heart starts beating fast, and it is easy to forget your English. So having a few simple phrases ready in your mind is like having a safety net. Let us start with how to explain the problem clearly and quickly on an intercom or to a staff member. Hannah, what is the very first thing you should say?
Well, you always want to start with a polite greeting to get their attention, even if you are feeling very stressed. You can say, "Excuse me, I have a bit of a problem here," or, "Hi there, I think something is wrong with this machine." This is much better than just shouting, "My card is gone," because it sounds polite and professional. It immediately makes the other person want to help you.
Exactly. You are inviting them to help you. And then you need to describe exactly what happened. Here's a great phrase. "The machine has swallowed my card." Or if you want to be a bit more formal, you can say, "The machine has kept my card." Another common issue is when the machine takes your money but does not give you a ticket. In that case, you can say,
I have paid for my ticket, but the machine has not printed it.
Those are perfect, Alex. Notice how we are using has swallowed and has not printed here. We use these structures because the action happened very recently, and the result is important right now. It is a great way to show that the problem is happening in this exact moment. Let us look at another common situation. What if the screen just goes completely black or freezes?
Ah, the classic frozen screen. In that situation, I always say, the screen has frozen and it is not responding to my touch. Or if the buttons are not working, you can say, I am pressing the buttons, but nothing is happening. It is simple, it is direct, and the technician will understand exactly what the physical issue is.
Yes, simplicity is key. Now, what about when you are in a rush? Just like Leo, you might have an appointment or a train to catch. How can we explain that politely without sounding too demanding?
I usually say, I am really sorry to rush you, but I am going to miss my appointment if I do not leave soon. Or, I have a train leaving in 10 minutes. Is there any way to quicken this process?
I love those examples. Using I'm going to miss is great because it shows a future plan that is about to happen. It creates a friendly sense of urgency. The person on the other end will understand that you are not just being impatient, you actually have a real deadline. Now, what if they tell you that a technician is coming, but they do not tell you when? How do you ask for a time frame?
You can ask, how long is it going to take for someone to arrive? Or you could say, could you let me know when the technician will be here? These questions are very polite because they start with, how long is it going to? And could you let me know? It sounds much softer than, when is he coming?
It really does. Tone of voice and polite structures make a massive difference. Now, what if the worst happens and they can't get your card out immediately? You might need to leave, but you need to know what will happen to your card. What can you ask them then?
That is a very important point. You do not want to just walk away and leave your card there forever. You can say, if I have to leave now, where will you keep my card? Or, who should I contact later to collect my card? This shows that you have a plan to come back for it, and it forces the company to keep it safe for you.
Perfect. And if they help you solve the problem, like Mr. Green helped Leo, how should we thank them? Of course, a simple thank you is good, but we can do better than that.
We certainly can. You can say, thank you so much for your quick help. I really appreciate it. Or, you have been extremely helpful. Thank you for saving my morning. Hearing that makes the worker feel great, and they will probably be even happier to help the next person who has a problem.
I agree. A little gratitude goes a long way. Well, Hannah, we have covered a lot of useful phrases today, and we have heard a great story about Leo's parking garage adventure. It just goes to show that even when technology fails us, our English skills can help us get through it smoothly.
They absolutely can. Next time you are facing a frozen screen or a card-eating machine, just take a deep breath, remember Leo, and use these polite phrases. You will do great.
That is all for today's episode of the Easy English Podcast. Thank you all so much for listening and practicing with us today. We love having you here. Until next time, keep practicing, stay calm when the machines act up, and have a wonderful week ahead. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.